For our today's topic, we'll be discussing about estimating units of measure for volume. It is important to know that appropriate unit of measure to use for a certain quantity, for example, time, may be measured in seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years, etc. While it is while it is possible to convert from one unit to another, there is usually a unit that is most convenient to use. For example, the time spent sleeping is usually measured in terms of hours instead of seconds or days. Similarly, there are also several units of measure for volume, and they may be used appropriately in different contexts. Before we show some examples, let us first look into the different units of measure we can use for volume. When we are measuring solid objects that have length, width, and height, we usually use the following units: cubic millimeter, cubic centimeter, cubic meter, cubic kilometer, cubic inches, cubic feet, and cubic yard. It is also important to note the following conversions factors. 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1,000 cubic millimeter. 1 cubic meter is equal to 1 million cubic centimeter. 1 cubic meter is equal to 1 billion cubic millimeter. For 1 cubic kilometer, it's equal to 1 billion cubic meter. In measuring the volume of liquids, the following units are used: milliliter, liter, kiloliter, megaliter, and gallon. For liquids, we may estimate the units for volume by comparing it with volumes of objects we are familiar with. For example, we know that juice drinks are usually measured in ml or L, in milliliters or liters. Thus, it will be impractical to use kiloliters and megaliters to measure juice drinks. Paying attention and familiarity with the objects we use frequently allows us to better determine which units are most appropriate to use to estimate the volume. With that, it is also useful to note the following conversion factors. For 1 milliliter, there is 1 cubic centimeter. For 1 liter, we have 1,000 milliliters. For 1 kiloliter, there is 1,000 liters. For 1 megaliter, there is 1,000 kiloliter. For 1 megaliter, we have 1 million liters. What do you think are the most reasonable units to use to measure the volume of water in a swimming pool? Since water is a liquid, the units that can be used to measure its volume are liters, milliliters, etc. A liter is about the amount of juice drink inside a bottle. We know that the pool can hold so much more than a bottle. Therefore, the most appropriate units of measure for a pool are kiloliter and megaliter. What units are the most appropriate to use in measuring the volume of a shoebox? The answer is cubic centimeters and cubic inches. These are the most appropriate to measure the volume of a shoebox. The cubic millimeter is too small, while the cubic meter is too large to be used. Therefore, we use cubic centimeter and cubic inches in measuring the volume of a shoebox. An Olympic-sized pool has a capacity of 1 megaliters. A bathtub has a capacity of around 235 liters. If all of the water in the pool is used to fill bathtubs, how many bathtubs would be filled? Since the Olympic-sized pool has a capacity measured in megaliters, While the volume of the bathtub is measured in liters, we convert from megaliters to liters. So that is, for every 1 megaliters, there is 1 million liters. The capacity of the pool is 1,000 liters, and the capacity of the bathtub is 235 liters. Thus, to get the number of bathtubs that can be filled by the water in the pool, we divide 1 million by 235. Therefore, around 4,225 bathtubs would be filled if we were to use all the water in the pool. Bridget has 2 liters of orange juice that she wishes to share to a feeding program for kids. If each kid is to have a serving of 250 milliliters of juice, how many kids will she be able to give juice to? Since we know that a liter is equivalent to 1000 ml or milliliters, we multiply 2 liters by 1000 to know how many milliliters it is. So we have 2000 milliliters. Thus, to determine the number of kids that can have orange juice, we divide 2000 by 250. Therefore, the orange juice will be enough for 8 kids.